Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We do apologize. We just had a couple of technical faults there that we had to sort out before we got into the game. But here we are, round one. And when we said we have some rogue special decks, here we have Stormfist Krillin. Who would have thought that we would have seen Stormfist here? But great to see. And I know there's a couple of people in chat as well that are after Stormfist. So here we go. We've got Stormfist versus Launch. We have two great players here. So hopefully this is going to be a very nice match to watch. What are you thinking here, Melvin?
Okay, this is a typical example of what we are going to be seeing. It's aggression against control, but I'm not too sure about how the Krillin is going to be built though, because the Krillin itself, even though it is blue, can be very, very aggressive. We all know, especially with the recent reprint of Obunis, there are quite a lot more of this aggressive option out in the market. So I'm really excited to see. I'm pretty sure. Let's see if the launch option, it's the green and the red option. So it's going to be Arrival with Piccolo. It's going to swing. It's going to have a lot of cut draw. It's going to flip to the front, to the back. It is, but we are going to be guaranteed is it is going to be a very, very exciting match to start the game. Let's have a little bit of spices, a little bit different, and let's see how they are going to be doing. The players right now are preparing to start the game with the mulligan. Did you see the dice roll, Azeem? Have they done it? Do you know who's going to start first?
No, I don't actually know who's. I think they got their dice out. I think they'll do that after they've done their mulligan. So, well, we can see, but they'll definitely either started it or they'll roll. But anyway, for those who do not know what Stormfist Krillin does, it's auto. It's a 10k obviously, and then 15 on its leader back. And then when it attacks an opponent, when it attacks a leader card, you may choose one card in your life, add it to your hand, and then you can draw a card. When your life is at 4 or less, choose one card in your energy, switch it to active mode, and flip the card over. And then on the reverse side, it is pretty much the same. It draws when it attacks, and then it also draws at the end of your turn as well. It does have a once per turn that you can choose a card in your hand and place it in the drop area. This card gains 5k and critical for the turn. So a very interesting leader, though obviously self-awakening on its front side, allowing you to build a lot of hand advantage in your card advantage in your hand, sorry. So it's remnants of the old bully leader, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it definitely is. It can be very aggressive and give you a lot of head advantage, but the game has started. What is interesting here is, okay, there is a confirmation that this launch, it is going to be the red-green variant with the Arrival Piccolo and stuff like that, but yeah. It does not seem that our launch player, Icario, has a good hand, because the first Energy Blade, it's red and green. This is what you want when it comes to the launch deck, but it is the super combo of the deck. Exactly, this seems not to be a very good start.
Pretty tough. You don't want to put a super combo in your energy, but obviously, especially when it's the Nappa as well, that not only does it give you that 10k super combo, it also acts as a body on board as well as an Arrival piece as well. So it's unfortunate, but we do see that the launch play, and this is great. I love this about the launch leader, is that it's mechanic of awakening, because it's the only leader that does not have the awaken skill. From what I know, it's the only leader in the entire game that does not have the awaken or a wish skill, I should say as well. Sorry. So when you combo with when a card in your life is flipped face up, you can flip it. You can draw one card and flip it from the leader front to the leader back, so it can alternate between the two, which is brilliant. Again, builds a lot of hand advantage. It gives you an extra 5k when you go from your back front to the backside. Obviously, you lose a 5k going up versus vice versa, but yeah, really, really interesting. And I think this is great as well, because it goes for the anime that obviously she switches between her two personalities, which is, I really enjoy it. I think it's a really nice, fun mechanic that they put into the game.
Yep. Not forgetting that with the championship promos that these people are going to win, the players are going to win, Launch is going to get even more support with the flippily flip mechanics. It's going to flip to the front, it's going to flip to the back, and whenever you flip, you get to draw more cards in your hands, which is required. The thing about usually when it comes to this type of leader is that they are very difficult to defend due to their inherent ability, their power. But the fun part about this is that to get around this, usually they make their battle card a little bit more high value. So there is more value that you want to take out their battle card, because if you don't, they're going to gain value over time, and that kind of takes away the aggression from their leader.
Yeah.
Who do you think has the advantage here, though? Because it seems that both players, due to their playmat, a pretty accomplished player, ain't it? Because I believe that in order to get this playmat, you have to kind of top in one of the events, right?
Yeah, you have to top a store event, which I think it is. I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't have one because I never topped
Yeah, me too.
So they've done well in their own right. And as I said, Launch is a very, very unique leader. We do see, like I said, the red-green hair. We do see the Nappa super combo come down again. So she did have 2 in hand. So this is going to be quite interesting to see. As I stated, Krillin is one of those decks that we wouldn't have thought to have seen, but it can build advantage. Not 100% sure on what way Scott is going here, like what his boss monster is. Like, I haven't fully seen his deck to be 100% honest. So, yeah. So beforehand it was Gogeta Hero Revived, but obviously now that card's banned. Who knows? Maybe he's playing Obunis. Maybe he's playing. I don't know, maybe he's playing the baby stuff. We'll wait and see, but this is going to be really interesting nonetheless.
Here we see the arrival of the 2-drop Piccolo, which is such a powerful card, because just for a energy, when it comes to like arrival, what you can get is totally a lot of value. When he swings, if it gains power to the card that's switched to rest mode by the skill, then you get to draw 2 cards, and if your opponent has 3 or more life, he is going to do a damage. There is no reason why this card is not very good. This is what I meant by the battle card having so much value that your opponent would want to concentrate all their firepower just to take out their card. And because of that, you kind of defend your leader that way. And here we see also more and more aggression when he takes the damage, the indirect damage. Here comes the 4-drop Bardox, I believe. That is the one that...
No, I think it's the 3-drop. But yeah, when you take a life from a card effect, you get to play it. It's a double striker with 15k. Pretty nutty, I have to say. I think it's a pretty nutty card. They did nerf it in terms of it was that as soon as your opponent takes a life, so they errated the card because back then it was pretty powerful. But now your opponent has to take a life from a card effect. That also includes critical.
Yep, and the most powerful part about this card, it's a 15k free swing. That is a double strike that deals 2 damage that comes up for free, and once per turn, if your opponent activates a counter, it does not have to activate a counter against the skill of this card, against the attack of this card. Anytime he activates a counter, this card restands, and you're able to go for another swing. That is so much value out of just a card that costs no energy at all. It's simply amazing.
Very true, and I do think that it's like I said, it needed to be errated, because when it was just like your opponent takes a life, that's pretty crazy. So just to get it out for free, like you said. And let's just note that here, Scott here is on 1 energy with Stormfist Krillin, and Iliada is just going straight into the aggression. She's turned on to aggression to 10 here. So going pretty hard, going in with a double strike now. Scott, I think, is on 4 life, if I can see. He should be able to. Well, he should be on 6 because his life's not fully in screen here. But we'll see. He hasn't awakened. Oh no, he has awakened.
No,
so
he has awakened. He's down to 4.
Yes. Yep. He is on 4. He is on 4. I can confirm he has awakened. He is on 4. So there. But yeah, like I said, that's so much aggression from a deck that, would you expect it to be aggressive? Like Launch, would you expect Launch to be an aggressive deck?
Launch is definitely a very, very aggressive deck. I feel a little bit for Scott right now, the Krillin player, because he has only 2 energy, and look at his energy option. He has slapped down the one of the most powerful card, one of the most defensive card in his arsenal. That basically means that maybe this turn wise, he is not expecting that he is going to be able to play any unison card to get that card, or he just feels that he's unable to play any unison card and be able to defend against the aggression. So this is what I'm seeing right now. It's pretty in a bad situation for Scott, but we know Scott himself. It's also a good player, so hopefully he can turn this around and see what he has options to take care of the other player. Because
True.
because the difference between these two decks is that Launch is a deck that you expect to play again. So I'm pretty sure that Scott, the Krillin player, would have maybe prepared for against playing against a deck like that.
Yeah, maybe he has got the answers, but like you
Mhm.
stated, putting God Sealing Trunks in his energy is probably not the best of options. It is a great card, but is it worth him tapping out to such an aggressive deck?
Mhm. No, definitely not. I don't think so, because God Sealing Trunks, it's very good if your opponent is going to play just one big battle card. But against Launch, it is not the case. If the Launch player is going to spam the board. That is what they want to do. They go wide instead of going solid, just one play. So God Sealing technique might not be a very good option
Yes.
against
So,
a deck like that. So a good
and we
call by
just see, yeah,
Scott. Yep.
yeah, we just see Trunks. Trunks. Sorry, we're talking about Trunks so much. I called Scott Trunks. No, but we do see Scott just passing the turn, opting to draw just from the Krillin. So he's kept his 2 energy open, hopefully just to protect himself. Like we said, he's on 4 life now, so very dangerous as well with that Bardock that Iliara has out on the board. So she's opting to swing with that straight away. Is she? No, she's thinking about it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, she's gone double strike 15k into the
Yep.
leader.
You always want to swing with the Bardock as your first one, because anytime your opponent do a negate their card, it's going to restand. So make sure that you already gain some values from this card itself before you swing with the other card. One thing to take note is that the Piccolo, the green and red Piccolo, that is not when it comes into play ability. Every time the Piccolo swings, it is going to gain value by dealing damage, by drawing 2 cards, and it swings really hard. So really a card to take note of, to take notice. You want to remove that. One thing to take note also when it comes to Krillin, the Scott player, the Krillin player, Scott, the Krillin player, is that he was unable to remove any battle card on the board itself for the launch player. So this is not a very good turn for Scott. I'm interested to see what plans does Scott has to take care of launch.
Yeah, very true. And as you stated, that launch can just build such a big hand. And we do see in Iliara hands that she does have a pretty much like a small book in her hand. So this is nice to see from Scott. We do see the new Janemba come out here with the Nimbus Master, which is, I think it's called, which I correctly remember, right? But yeah, just bringing out a different. So this might be a skillless variant. This might be a skillless variant of the deck. Who knows? I haven't seen it properly, as I said. But
so Krillin playing with a Janemba engine.
Probably, you never know. It might be a Janemba engine. We have obviously seen 2 Janembas now. This is the second one. We saw, I can't remember his name, but I think it was a 5-cost Janemba from Dropbox, I think it was. So he could just be playing the Janemba engine here as well. So interesting to see. Scott now in 3 life going down. So bit of a dangerous territory. Obviously, he goes to 3 energy next turn, but still not seeing any like big, not big moves, I should say, but not seeing any dominance by Scott. Launch is just all over it, all over Krillin here. So
when it comes to the advantage-wise, the advantage right now is definitely in Launch's favor because of the bigger board, that launch has, and also the huge hand size of the launch deck itself. So that is why launch is such a big and powerful deck that we always see in the meta. This is why she is so powerful. One of the things that I'm kind of maybe feel a little bit bad about, it's launch, the archetype that was launched with Series 12. Nobody plays with most of the cards inside. You know, they do have their own variants built with this Piccolo just to get that hand size draw, but most of the cards that came with launch itself, not many people play with that. It's because of consistency, I believe, because I tried to play it play it myself. It wasn't really consistent. So it's down to luck, and hopefully the promo, it's going to fix it. The problem with that promo is all these launch players who are playing the meta decks right now, they will also want it. So I'm not too sure if it's something that I can get my hands on, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's very true. Like, it is interesting here, and we do see Scott go down to 1 life. Obviously, what's that he's played? I can't see. Oh, that's
it is the 3-cost
Janemba.
Janemba. Yep.
It is, yeah, it's the SPR version of it. So interesting. As we said, that he is playing the Janemba. He did also have the Unison in hand. We saw that he charged the Zeno, which could have given him an extra energy, but he opted not to play it. But he has gone with the Krillin leader effect, discarding a card, and Krillin gains 5k and critical for the turn. So would you say go into the leader, or would you try and say clear the board here?
I would say clear the board, but the problem with Scott is what are his options? There's just so many battle cards that if he don't take them out, he's gonna have a very hard time defending the next turn. However, he goes for crit. That means he wants to swing to the leader, ain't it? Because you want to get the damage done so that the player does not gain any to make full use out of the crit. So it is a very difficult option over here, but we have to understand too that blue is a very defensive deck, ain't it? There is one very powerful card that if Scott has it in his hands, especially if you're playing mono blue leader, that if he has it, it buys him a turn for the next one. So let's see if he has it, maybe he can survive. But if he doesn't, it's going to be pretty bad. One interesting point over here is that both players have not played a Unison card yet.
Yeah, very true. Yeah. That is very true. But we do see an arrival from Iliara going into the Champa Imberus, the Gracious God, which is pretty decent because it just KOs a card, 4 cost or less, and then gives one of your cards double strike as well.
Yep, but usually people want to play the card on the offensive turn because it is basically like a Champa in it, because you come out, you play a rival with that card, then it KOs the card, and then it gives one of your card double strike just to end the game. But I can understand why Ilaria, why she plays it during the defensive phase, because Scored is down to 1 life anyway. So the double strike, it's not going to be useful in any situation. So why not use the energy that she has, rival something so that she can swing more times the next turn.
Yeah, very true. Very
Scored,
true.
it's going to tap out.
Is he? Has he decided?
He taps out for the Janemba.
Oh, yes, very true. Okay, yeah, so he's gone into the Janemba again. By tapping out, I thought you meant he's giving up. I was like, what? Has he already?
But, kind of we could say that it's a little bit like a tapping out, ain't it? Oh, this is really bad.
That's it. Ilaria just coming down and clearing Scott's board. So now Scott, not even a sparking negate can help him here because he can't even take the life to activate it, which is really upsetting. And just to remind everybody, this is a best of 1, so there is no siding, there is no game 2. The winner of this will take the round. So
but I'm going to make a prediction. Yeah, but I'm going to make a prediction here. The reason why Scott wants to tap out is because I believe that he has Baby Hatchiak in his hands.
Oh, do you believe? So there we go. Yep. So if we do see a Baby Hatchiak from Scott, it will buy him a turn.
Yep, that is why.
Do you think that turn is big enough? Do you think that turn is going to be enough? Like, look at what Ilaria has on field: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards, and last turn she didn't even tap an energy. So,
if I am Ilaria, what I would do here is I am going to swing with a Piccolo just to draw the 2 cards because. Okay, let's see what's going to happen here.
She's gone for it.
Yep.
Oh,
Scott is
Scott's
gonna. Oh yeah, here we go.
Okay, so you called it. You got it right there.
Yeah.
And this card is just too powerful. It is so powerful. I think it's the secret of choice for blue at the moment.
If you play blue, you play this card. There is no discussion at this point of time.
Definitely. And Baby Hatchak, it is an 8 cost. It is a 40k. It has ultimate, but it has a counter attack saying if you have 3 or more energy, negate the attack and play this card. Your opponent can only attack one. Your opponent can't attack for the turn. Sorry. So basically, it stops all attacks. However, it also has a permanent saying that you can discard one other card in your hand in order to play it instead of paying its cost, which makes it too powerful. So, as we saw, Scott was tapped out. So, Ilaria could probably think that, oh, wait, okay, he's got no option, so I can go in. But obviously, Baby Hatchak just comes in and says, no. End your turn, I get one more turn. And it's a 40k, as I stated. However, because it was a counterattack and Ilaria did attack with the Bardock, it then untaps itself. So right now, even though Ilaria had no turn, she wasn't able to be offensive. She has no worries whatsoever. She's sitting on 7 life, 4 open energy, 5 battle cards on the field. This is tough. Like, what can Scott do here?
I really have no idea. The issue is the field itself, directly like what you pointed out. The field size itself, Scott is at 1 life. Even if Scott wants to go for the game, Ilaria has 7 lives. So it's and 4 energy open.
Yeah, as we stated, it's pretty tough.
Okay, but I think this is one of the best options that Scott can do right now, which is to play the Dark Identity Mass Saiyan that choose its Overrealm, so he can leave his energy open just for the defensive play. If he needs to, it can swing, and at the same time, most importantly, because he is playing against a deck that swings on on battle cards with very little energy, it kind of sends a lot of them to the warp itself. So the option would be. Okay, that's a good one. So the Piccolo and the super combo, the Nappa super combo. Yep.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely agree that super combo, I think, is more of a threat than the Bardock because, as we stated, she can combo it from her field and still get an arrival target. So it's pretty. I think that was a great call. But again, it's still looking very, very bleak for Scott. He's opted to discard a card again to get critical for the Krillin leader. And Ilaria is that a topo? That is a topo.
Yes.
Oh, so again, that just pretty much spells it for Scott. So topo coming down. Scott, he has to discard 2 cards from his hand in order to attack. And I think he's just passed the turn again. Did he just take the draw?
Yes, correct. Yep, I think so.
Yeah,
I think no. I think he swings. He has to draw. Yep. I think he has.
But the thing is, like, yeah. So as we said, like Hatchak ends turns. Topo can also end turns. Obviously, it's an optional effect, but yeah, it's just tough. And I think Scott is just passing. I think they're talking about it. You can see by their reactions as well that Scott's just like, I've got nothing else I can do here, which is a bit unfortunate.
Okay, what did he play? I can't really see this. Are you able to see this?
Yeah. A little bit of glare. It's a card that goes under it. Let's see.
Is it another
Janimba?
Yep, I think he's playing Janimba. He's going to go for the yes. He plays a 3-cost Janimba, putting a ball underneath to bring out Janimba Xeno.
Yeah. So he gets to bring out another Janimba here. So again, more pressure, but Ilaria still has 2 energy open. The option to bring out another Gogeta, even the 5-drop Gogeta, and just KO that card. So who knows? As we stated, it is looking bleak, but who knows? We believe in Scott. Let's see. Can Stormfist come back?
The problem that Scott is facing right now is the Janimba, the Dark Parasite Janimba, the 4-drop Janimba Xeno does nothing about board control. In order to gain value from it, he has to swing to draw a card. But if he wants to swing, he actually discard 2, and I'm not too sure if that is good enough to justify.
Yeah, very
just
true.
To draw a card.
Yeah, and Scott does have only one energy open, so he still has access to some negates, to sensu beans, to dimensional magic. So he
Mm-hmm.
still has those options for next turn. But
Oh, he's gonna go for it.
okay, so he is
Ooh.
discarding 2 cards from his hand. He has overwhelmed already as well, so he can't overwhelm again.
hmm So when the Janimba Duck Parasite attack, the opponent may choose one of the battle card and send it to its owner's swap. If they don't, then Scott get to draw a card, then switch up to one of his blue energy to active mode.
Yes, so I think Ilaria here would just warp a card, and if anything, I would imagine it would be the Gracious Gods, the Champa and the Beerus. Oh, she might have opted to Topo. Okay, well, either one, they're both 20k,
Yeah,
so it doesn't
yeah.
really
Everyone
matter.
is 20k. You don't really need the double strike anymore. So pick any 20k. The reason,
I would have kept the Topo mainly because it's a 5k combo over the Gracious Gods, because the Gracious Gods are a 1k.
oh
So for
yes,
me, I would have said keep the Topo, get rid of the Beerus and Champa, so you just have that extra 5k. But
yep,
again, it's not really needed. It's just an extra attack as well.
yep. Oh, that's a really good point because of this. Maybe what she's thinking is that when she swings with any one of them, a 10k combo would end the game better with more combo power, with all this
True.
energy that she has on his all the energy that she has anyways, right? So swing with
True,
that. If there is no negate, just combo the whole hands right now. Yep.
Yep, very true. And the judge has just come in. I don't know if that's time that has been called, but I assume it has been. Let's see what they are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think that is time
Oh,
on the round. But yeah, it's still looking bleak for Scott.
yes. All right, Scott has go on to the final evolution of Janimba himself to go for the final swing. It's critical, it's dual attack, and he gets to draw 2 cards when he evolve. So maybe that is a good option. But take note, Topo, even though it's not on the field anymore, the effect is still on the field itself. So every time that Scott is going to swing, he needs to pay that cost, which is 2 cards in his hands, and he's unable to go for the final swing.
Yeah, and I think he was just going in for as much damage as he can. So he has just passed the turn. He has 1 card in hand. I don't think he drew from the end of Stormfist Krillin.
Yeah, there is no negate option anymore because Scott is tapped out.
Yep. And there we go. We do see that it's just gone for game. So congratulations to Ilaria for taking the win with launch against Stormfist Krillin there. But as we saw, launch is too powerful of a deck. It just builds too much of a hand, and not just a hand, it also builds a big board as well. So very, very tough, I have to say.
Yep, but we also have to give some props to Scott for bringing such a interesting build, also Krillin to a best of 1. So that is where the element of surprise comes in. So
Very true.
Good luck to the both players. Thanks for giving us a great game 1. We're looking forward to game number 2. And guys, if you guys are in the Twitch looking at the stream itself, let us know what are some of the decks that you want to see, so we could find and feature it on the stream for your enjoyment. All right.